Buckle up, you beautiful people. After years of anticipation, our overdue return to Genovia is finally here. With announcements and rumors popping left and right, it is finally time to talk about everything we know about Princess Diaries 3. Okay, I know some of you have no idea of the impact that this movie had on the rest of us, but I can't possibly make this video last for a century, so I will give you a somewhat shorter answer. Aside from the fact that this movie gave us the amazing Anne Hathaway, Princess Diaries defined an era for a lot of us. Grab a time machine, go back to the early 2000s, and you will not be able to find a single girl that didn't feel understood by this movie. It expressed a fantasy that all of us had, and it did so perfectly. But after the second film failed to reach the heights of its predecessor, the idea that could have gone on to become a massive franchise ended up with only 2 movies to its name. But fear not, because Anne has got us covered. Back in October, Anne gave us the good news on her TikTok. This short clip was worth a million tears. You guys, you should have seen my face when I first watched that announcement. It was almost as if I was a kid again. What were your reactions to it? Were you as excited as I was? What did you think about the way Anne chose to announce the new film? You guys have to let me know down in the comments. After that explosive news, we got more information about the upcoming threequel via interviews. Anne herself led the conversation. Almost everything we know about the upcoming third film comes from her. And honestly, that is some queen behavior. Adele Lim is set to direct the third installment in the franchise. You might know her from movies like Crazy Rich Asians, which she wrote, and Raya and The Last Dragon, which she directed. Honestly, I love both of those movies. When asked about her involvement, she did say that she was a die-hard fan of the original films, so I am excited to see her vision come to life. It is just sad that we won't be able to get Gary Marshall, the director of the original Princess Diaries films. He passed away back in 2016, and what makes this news even sadder is that he reportedly had a vision for a third film, but it never materialized. I personally trust Adele, but she does have some big shoes to fill. I would love to hear what you guys think about this. What do you think a third film made by Gary would have looked like? Write your theories down in the comments. Aside from Anne, it seems that a lot of the other cast members from the original films are ready to return as well. In February 2024, John Rhys Davies, who played Viscount Maybury in the second film, said that he'd love to return. Yes, and so would the fabulous Chris Pine. And Chris himself added to this, saying that the film could save the world. And he is correct, it would. On whether or not he'd be in the film, he shared, "I don't know anything," adding, "Call Disney. Call Bob Iger," and reiterating, "Honestly, I don't know anything about it. I think it's fantastic." Aside from Chris and John, who else do you want to see in the third film? But Julie Andrews isn't as confident as some of the other cast members. "It would be too late to do it now," she said in an interview. "There was talk of a sequel many years ago, but I don't think it ever came to pass." Honestly, I understand where she is coming from. The original films were coming-of-age stories, so if there was a third film, it would need to shake things up a bit. Honestly, I would love to see them flip the script in a smart way. Before his passing, Gary wanted the third film to take place in New York, which I think could be interesting. But personally, I would want them to incorporate her friends from the first film, as they never made an appearance in the second one. The second film always felt separated from the first one, and the upcoming third film could help bridge that gap. But I also want to see Mia's life as a queen. We saw a glimpse of her leadership in the second film, so there's an opportunity to show us a Mia that has matured into a capable leader. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the film is expected to start shooting sometime this year, so it won't be long before we learn a lot more about Princess Diaries 3. Which brings us to the topic of the trailer. There is no concrete release date yet, but don't expect to see Mia Thermopolis return to the big screen in 2025. This will likely be a massive Disney production, so we won't get anything big until the latter half of the year. I expect the trailer to drop around Christmas at the latest. The trailer will likely confirm a big chunk of the cast and answer our burning questions regarding the return of Julie Andrews. Other than that, I expect to see a lot of callbacks to the previous films. It is almost certain that the trailer will use footage from the first Princess Diaries. Honestly, I can't wait for this movie to come out. Are you guys ready to return to Genovia? What do you think Queen Mia is up to these days? Let's discuss it all in the comments below. Until then, make sure to subscribe to be notified of any updates on Princess Diaries 3. In the meantime, these other videos on the screen might interest you as well.